Welcome back to Relationship Evolutions Bridging the Divide. I am Kelly, founder of Evolutions Coaching and this podcast. And today we are finally going to be talking about women. Men and women have been living beside each other since the dawn of time, and we are still out here looking at each other like confused raccoons just holding emotional grenades at one another. No one knows what the hell is happening. Nothing is getting clearer. Everything is getting more convoluted. What is happening? And sometimes the confusion can be fun and adorable, but a lot of the times it can be extremely heartbreaking. And we're here to bridge that divide. We're here to start understanding where each really comes from. And this is going to be a big episode. And no, before anybody panics, just know this is not going to be a feminist rage sermon where we gather in a circle and blame men for the weather and everything else that's happened in the world. Relax, okay? But it also is not going to be one of those weird conversations where femininity is put on this big pedestal or gets reduced to just being this silent thing that is just chaotic and we don't know how to understand it. Absolutely not. We are not here to be emotionally sedated. We are here to be emotionally woken up. I am going to talk about feminine strength. That is what we're going to talk about today. And specifically, what is the actual value of a woman? I ask this to so many people, and I want you to think about it. I want you to really think about the women in your life, even if they confuse the hell out of you. What is she trying to communicate? What is her efforts always talking about? What are the things, if you were to just peg her and look at her with just nothing on her, what is she trying to achieve? Not her productivity, not her body, not her ability to survive independently, not her ability to prove that she doesn't need anyone. I know that there's a lot of that going on right now. Don't be deceived. There is something far deeper than that. Her real value of what she's trying to be in the world for you, for herself, for her family. And I've asked this question to so many people. And do you know what almost always happens? They pause. Like, I just asked them to solve quantum physics with a glue stick or some shit. We don't know how to answer this. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, I can see the wheels turning and the fears starting, and the triggering happening. People will clench up. They're like, are we about to get set up here? Like, are we about to go on trial? Is this a test? What are we talking about here? Like, what is the value of a woman? And it's interesting on who you talk to because the women are going to start, there's a lot of triggers that'll start because women have been conditioned over time of their value has been reduced to their bodies and being used, being taken advantage of. And that is not the value of a woman. There's going to be a lot of undertaking here because this is a very important topic. And my answer to what is the value to a woman is probably going to change a lot of people's understanding about what women really are. And I hope that that's what we do today. I hope that we start understanding, even if we are in a fight with a woman, we have terrible history with them. If we ourselves don't like or trust them as women, because that was me, right? I didn't understand women. I didn't trust them. I didn't understand the beauty and the power that we really are. And if I can go from someone who literally wouldn't go buy pink because what it represented to me about women to defend their honor and they get respected for their beautiful, freaking amazing gifts that they have. If I can do that, anybody can. So when you are with me on this episode today, please have an open mind. And I know that the triggers make things difficult. I'm going to need multiple episodes to really cover it all. And I'm sure I'm going to rant and ramble. Hang with me because I guarantee I'm going to give you some insights throughout this. It will likely help you understand something that you've never been able to put words to, that you've never heard before. So we're going to try that today. We're going to see if we can make it happen. And I think that women deserve better answers than just become a boss bitch or whatever they're called nowadays and dominate harder. Femininity is far more beautiful than that. It is doing far more for the world than that. It is far stronger than that. And we can't use a masculine metric to measure femininity. It literally does not make any sense once you understand the difference. It needs its own metric system. And I'm going to tell you how we can determine if femininity is present in your life. Okay, we'll get to that. This episode is going to be honoring, but it's also going to be sobering. And it's going to be sobering for everybody involved. I'm going to speak truth. And I think that it's important that we understand the root of things, not because I'm ever here to shame anybody about anything. We need to understand the root of what's here. Okay. Because it takes an extraordinary amount of strength to remain warm in a world that keeps rewarding hardness. That is what I want to explore today. Not feminine power, feminine strength. And there is a difference. And once I've finally understood that difference, I can never unsee it. And so I want you guys to know something. This episode almost killed me emotionally, spiritually, creatively. My sense of excellence of, this matters. This episode really freaking matters. At one point, I think the information in this episode became sentient and started psychologically tormenting me. I recorded versions, I stopped half through, I restarted, I got irritated. I'm so passionate about it. And I think that says something. The reason it took so long is because I feel how careful this conversation needs to be. Because I do not want to shame women, but I also refuse to flatter us into delusion. Most conversations go about women in of two directions. They're either going to women are oppressed magical creatures who can do no wrong and we deserve everything, or women are emotional chaos goblins destroying civilization. And neither of those are true. Women are fucking human. We are brilliant souls. We are beautiful. We are very wounded sometimes, and we're powerful creatures. We are immature sometimes. We're extraordinary sometimes, and deeply misunderstood. We don't even understand ourselves. That is insane, right? That sucks. The word crazy comes to everyone's mind. I'm going to tell you why it gets so crazy up in our heads, and we need understanding and we need help. We don't need labels and judgment for that. We need help because this deeply misunderstanding, it takes something away from us when we are trying to create something, and it just takes some time to create. Most of my life, I misunderstood femininity too. I respected masculine traits far more because why? It's direct, it's structured, it has a focused mission. It's kind of easy to tangibly look at and just see, which is why everyone understands it and respects it and knows what its value is, knows what its toxic traits are, knows what its weak traits are. It's really easy to put those into categories. And that is nice in a nice little bundle. Humans like categorizing things because we can see what it is. We can now understand something, even in its bad stuff, its dark stuff, its great stuff, its hurtful stuff. We can categorize it. We can hold it in our hand because we see it. Now, I'm not saying that masculine is totally understood by people. Actually, it's not. Masculinity is on a spectrum, just like femininity. I would love to show everybody my model for this because it totally helps people understand why there's quote unquote weak masculinity and what happens when it's quote unquote toxic masculinity versus a powerful man, as I call it. The balance of the two. It's on a fucking spectrum. And so is femininity. And so because we can really see that more, it's like, okay, well, we don't know how to think outside the box and apply that femininity probably also has a structure. It probably also has a mission. It probably also has a directive. Why did we stop looking for it? Because it's not the same as masculine. It's not in a nice line organized understanding. If you understand and love the feminine, it's because you have done some amazing hard work. And for that, I tip my hat to you because this is not an impossible thing to understand. It is a mission. It does have a directive, and it's honestly patterned as fuck. It is really patterned. And how can something that we all want to see patterns, how come we're not seeing the patterns in this? It's just a fucking puzzle. That's it. It still has a structure to it. So let's talk about it because I looked at femininity and I thought, why? Before I was who I am now and really wanting to champion for everyone. I was singly on the man's side because I could get it. I got it. I didn't put the work in on the feminine. So I'm like, fuck them. Like those bitches are crazy. like, I'm gonna just hang out here with the dudes. They seem chill. Why would I choose this softness and this weird fluffy stuff when hardness survives better? or feels more empowering, feels powerful. Like I feel strong over here. Like I don't want to feel weak. Like weak kills you. Like I don't. Why would I do that? Like like, I think that everybody kind of has that thought when it comes to the feminine and women. And by the way, I'm gonna say this: femininity and women, not the same thing. So when I say femininity, I am talking about the energetic core energy of a woman in her feminine nature, which means there is attributes that I am referring to. So please make sure you understand that because a woman sometimes has zero femininity about her. And so that is what we need to understand is how to glue those back together or and maybe that glue is not going to stick very well. Okay, it sticks, but like maybe that's not very structured. Like how do we get these two back together? Because they really belong together. They're beautiful together. And it was because I realized something. I was measuring femininity by masculine standards, and everybody else does too. That is the mistake because we think that strength is only one thing. And everybody listen up. Everybody thinks that strength is sexy. Now, strength has a lot of translations to it. Most people are going to think of strength and they're going to think of muscle and toughness. Okay. And that's an external physical thing. We like things that are tough because that means they're strong and resilient. In our brains, we like that in mates. We like that because you aren't going to be fragile and die. You're going to be hard enough to survive. Cool. So we are just naturally drawn to strength. But women don't realize that we don't know how to even articulate feminine strength. What the fuck is that? Somebody pause and just speak out loud. What is feminine strength? We're just using the masculine strength as a measuring stick, which is kind of funny because that's what we do, right? We measure masculine standards with a measuring stick, right? Whose is bigger? Right? Well, okay, women don't even have that appendage, so how the hell does that fit into us, right? It makes zero sense for us to use that measuring stick as a standard for strength when we don't even have one. So we like create imaginary ones, appendages. Come on, what are we doing here? That's a mistake. We can't contort ourselves into this and just have fairy tale lands of like, this is what it is. No, it's not. It's different. And so it's designed to complement the reality differently. Once I saw that, like, holy hell, everything changed. We aren't there to be measured by a masculine standard. We're there to be measured by a feminine strength standard. Okay. So going back to our one of our episodes, I believe it's episode 4 and A New Hope, I think is how I phrase that one. And we talked about survive and thrive. So I'm going to just kind of plug this in really quickly, as quick as I can. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long episode. Please get comfortable. This is going to be really good. Okay, so we have to go back to this concept really quickly. One of the simplest ways that I explain this so that we hold it. So I want you to hold this concept and how important this mission is. We are both on a mission. Men are on missions and women are on missions. And both missions matter. Both of these survive and thrive directives are inside of us as humans. Like we all carry both, but men are going to be biologically more inclined to be mission oriented towards the survive dimension, and women are going to be more directed towards the thrive dimension. And I know that sounds woo-woo. I don't know why I said dimensions. It's just how I think of it, okay? We are different realms for a reason, which means we have big fucking jobs to do. How hard is it to thrive in the world today? How hard? No, I mean it. Like actually not we're not talking about like just here I have money in my bank account and something over my head. I have a roof over my head. Sure. We can rationalize our fucking asses off all we want. I'm talking about your emotional landscape inside of who you are. I'm not talking about the external world because both those examples were what? External survive, not thrive, right? And so how hard is it to hold something that thrives? If we're talking about the emotional internal environment, thrive dimension is talking about the internal emotional environment, not the external environment. Please make sure you keep that in mind. And then everybody scan their own emotional environment internally and honestly. Honestly, do you love yourself? Are you thriving in your soul? Do you like what's happening in there? Okay, that right there tells you if you're thriving or not. Are we spiritually malnourished and dead, but technically functional? We're not thriving. It's a big fucking human job. And yes, the cussing sailor is coming out here. I'm very passionate, so if you don't like that word, I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll get you used to it because by the end of this episode, you'll hear enough. But broadly speaking, I want everyone to calm down a little because if you think I'm only saying women are only responsible for the internal environments inside and the emotional stuff is all her job only, I know, and like she can also do the survive stuff. I know. Let's just pretend that the masses from the dawn of humankind kind of behaved on a mass scale pretty much the same way with minimal variances, not today's preferred nuances of weird. I'm talking about actual biologics that are encoded inside of us that you ladies and gents don't actually have a say so over, really. Your biologics just are who you are. You just get to show up here and lo and behold, here you are with zero effort on your part, right? Now, it takes a whole lot of effort to change those biologics, taking hormones that aren't supposed to be in your body in the degree that to what they are, or putting body parts on yourself that's not supposed to be there. That takes a lot of extra effort. So whenever you just get to biologically naturally be something, it is encoded in your body physically as a man or woman. As masculine energy tends to orient towards the external world. So the things that we see outside of us, that is a big world, right? Now, what's interesting is it is a really big world on the inside. The internal environment is our entire fucking reality, folks. It's our reality of how we feel in life. Is it suck or is it awesome? And how often does that change all of the time? Our internal environment is always changing, just as humans, without any men or women around you, your reality is always fucking changing and shifting. And women, we just get to be the ones that are more biologically oriented towards that world, which is why we're always talking about the internal feelings and how things feel, is we're trying to create the reality to feel something. Okay, so biologically speaking, this is one side or the other, the survive and thrive. What is it? It's the emotional quality of our life. Now, when it comes to other humans, we tend to be social beings, mostly. Even if we are people that kind of are lone wolves, we still crave connection. We still crave life. Even if it's in small doses of things, we still know that we do life better together in some capacities. We crave to be understood deeply. We crave connection and warmth and meaning and bonding and trust. None of those things are tangible outside. You can't see any of those, right? They're invisible. And this right here is the pain of a woman because everything that she fights for, her mission, her directive, are fucking invisible, which means when she's trying to create something, she's doing it out of her imagination and her intuition. There's nothing tangible for her to actually take a actual log and make it a home. That means she has harder fucking work to do because she's building things off of invisible senses. Isn't that wonderfully cool and magical and mystical and holy shit? How the fuck does she do that? Who's not honored and respect women far more right now, understanding this by itself before we're not even getting started. Isn't that fucking cool? What women are biologically geared to do is to work with invisible metrics of the internal world. Invisible stuff. A bond, I'm sorry, that's invisible. Trust, I'm sorry, also invisible. Can't hold it. Warmth, well, we can feel warmth, but like warmth in the soul, that's also invisible. Connection, that's invisible. Belonging, that's invisible. Love, oh my God, how do I hold love? Well, I mean, maybe a puppy, but ultimately, what she's trying to build is she's using invisible parts to build stuff. And she's never fucking honored for that. They never, because they can't talk about it. They don't know how to talk about this thing that she can feel, but no one can see. No wonder she's crazy. Guys, put yourself in those shoes. You're trying to build something your entire life and you never have the supplies to show. And so because of that, because you can't show the supplies, you're told that you're not doing anything. What the fuck are you doing all of the time? Now, you tell me if that would make you crazy. Do we have a little bit more respect and understanding for women's existence yet? Okay, so if women are oriented to naturally towards that invisible dimension, the thrive dimension, meaning the masculine is going to ask, how do we build this shelter? The feminine asks, how do we make this shelter feel good and alive and seductive and beautiful and happy and emotionally safe once we get there? We're feeling stuff. How do we make this? How do we build a feeling? How do we build a feeling? Women have to be so in tune to so many things to make something feel good. Because think about how horrible life feels, guys. Think about it. Think how horrible life feels. Her mission directive in life is to make things feel good. And so when she bitches about, I don't like what's happening, she's trying to build something that's beautiful. And she's trying to say, give me some supplies to build it. Now, are we starting to understand that there is a system behind women now? You start to see like, we're just in pretend that she's building a structure just like men is, but it's invisible. So you just have to take her word for it that she needs this thing from you so she can make this building happen. Okay, so please listen to her. Don't neglect her when she's like, if what would be like, we want the guys to build us a house, and we're like, you can't have any wood. No, but I really need wood for all these things. Nope, you can't fuck. Nope, you don't need that. It's not important. It doesn't matter. No, I need the wood. No, you don't. Yes, I do. I can't make this happen without the wood. No, you don't need the wood if it's not, this is not what's important. Like that's kind of what it's like to be a woman trying to build something that feels safe without the supplies that we need. It's kind of crazy, right? Because a home without emotional safety is just drywall and bills. A marriage without warmth and understanding is just two exhausted people discussing groceries and what they're going to eat. There's no connection there. A family without connection is basically a fucking hostage situation with snacks. I mean, think about how, I mean, I've seen a lot of families out there, and that's how I see it. Like, this looks like a fucking hostage situation on here. What is going on? I mean, they're well fed, but Jesus, I'm concerned. Does anybody else get that impression when they look at certain families? I mean, somebody has to care about the invisible terrain. There is an invisible environment, and women feel it. They're so in tune to it, but then they can't see it, and then they can't speak to it. And it's like she knows she's supposed to be the one that's geared to take care of it, but she can't because there's nothing ever to hold in her hands, and it just makes her crazy trying to figure out how to even fucking explain it. Because how do you do that? How do you describe a color? Right? It's like describing a color, right? You guys, someone please describe a color to me. That is what it's like being a woman trying to make a feeling last, making things work that is an invisible field, right? And so women are going to notice a lot of things first because they feel, oh shit, there's a draft in the house. Something's broken. I'm talking about the invisible house now, the invisible environment, the internal environment. She feels something cold. AKA, guys, that's your tone, that's your attitude, that's your neglect. She feels something cold. What happens when we're in the physical home and we feel something cold? We get the fuck up and we go investigate it and we go fix it. That's what she's doing when she's like, "Hey, this doesn't feel right. Can I can we talk about where this draft is coming from? Do I need a blanket or do we need to repair a window or is there a hole in the wall or how bad is this? Can you help me find what this is?" She's not very skillful in being able to detect where it's coming from, which is why she takes it to you. Because you're the guy, you're the man, you're her man. She wants your help detecting where to find the thing that's leaking or whatever. And she's not going to do it always calmly because she's working with an invisible house. So yeah, she's kind of crazy in that way because she can see something you can't, which means she's far more in tune to multiple dimensions. She can see the physical world and feel the invisible one. That means a lot to me. That means that she's got a lot of fucking potential for skill. And I did say potential for skill, not that she is skilled. If she doesn't have the training to actually build a home too, she's not going to do it calmly, but she's going to notice that there's problems in that invisible environment and she's trying to bring them to you. So she's trying to keep things warm, to keep things protected, keep things safe, to make sure that robbers don't come in and try to steal these things. Take these connections, take these warmth, take the love, take these things that they're holding precious that are all invisible. She's the guardian of invisible things. As a Homo sapien here, you actually, if you slow down, you will know that you care about this invisible world too. And you also know that you have no fucking idea what the shape of it is, which is why you're intimidated by it because you can't feel it like she does. And so you're just gonna kind of pretend it doesn't exist most of the time. But then you feel it sometimes because she'll take you into a room that feels different than another room. And you're like, oh my God, she's trying to show you the invisible home and trying to make you feel things. And if you just be like, no, I don't even want to come in your house. Okay, you're rejecting all these feelings, these experiences she's trying to create with you. You have to trust somebody else with it a little bit. At least not fully, but to kind of trust to tell you, this is what this room looks like and this is how it feels. And so women can feel this invisible stuff, which is kind of why sometimes they take over and they try to control stuff, is because they can feel how things, quote unquote, need to be warmed and held and not really creating conflict. She's just detecting disconnection. She's detecting the internal environment, again, has a draft in it, a cold in it. There is something that's broken. There's something that is breaking. So often women are picking up subtle relational shifts about how the bond feels, these invisible environments feel long before other people consciously register them because she can see inside even though like on the outside we have eyeballs and they point outward. And so we can see when something is fraying. We can see when something is crumbling, so we can go fix it, which is why guys are really good at go, show me the thing so I can go fix it. But it's got to be something I can visually see because I can't conceptually see this emotional thing until I'm trained to. You got to train yourselves. You got to learn that you have to accept that there is an emotional environment. You have to help each other through the other environment that you're not so good at. Like guys have to become fluent in the internal world so that they can walk through these rooms and feel them. And it's not impossible for him. He just has to actually put some effort into it and realize that it is actually a place that he has inside of him that he wants to. And so when women are picking up these relational shifts, she's detecting that based off of, oh, I feel distance in the emotional environment. But what is it again? A bond. Bond is supposed to be close. So distance means there's something fraying and pulling apart. So that means we need to mend something. I'm feeling resentment. I'm feeling withdrawal. I'm feeling avoidance. Somebody's pretending that something's okay, but I can feel based off of how fast they respond, how their eyes are downcast, their energy kind of shifts a little bit. The problem though is that sensitivity. And I say sensitivity not as the taboo word. I mean sensitivity as recognizing that she senses something, not being sensitive like in dramatic ways of chaos. So when she's sensitive to the shift of the internal environment, she's like, oh, hey, something, the temperature just changed in here. So she has to go around feeling, is this thing nourished enough? What does it need? Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Is it too windy? Is it too stormy? Is it just right? That can go sideways if she's not mature in that sensitivity. So sensing something is off is not the same thing as communicating wisely about it. And so I feel a lot of empathy for women because it's hard to put to words things you cannot touch. She doesn't know. It's hard to describe a color, but it is there. It's difficult, right? That is what it's like to be a woman, is trying to always describe something that we can't see. And that takes a lot of time and training and maturity. There's a difference between emotional intelligence, ladies, and emotional flooding because you're so sensitive to everything. And everything that touches you freaks you the fuck out because you don't know what you just brushed up against. And so you emotional flood. That is what's happening to you instead of just emotional intelligence. What would happen if in that same scenario you got emotional intelligence? You'd slow the fuck down, wouldn't you? You'd be like, all right, I just typed something. Let me detect this. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it wet? What is this? Think about it. Breathe. Get your mind on it. Focus on it. What is this telling me? What is this thing? Oh, this thing, this is not a thing. It's just a fucking coffee cup. I don't need to slurp the presses for that, okay? But this, oh shit, there's an intruder over here. Now I can bring someone's attention to it. That is kind of what emotional intelligence is like, is knowing the difference between things that are actually causing a threat and things that are not in this invisible world that we feel all of the time. Okay. It is the difference between protecting connection that you have with your partner and your family and your kids and everybody in your environment and trying to control people because you feel unsafe. She feels safe in herself when she slows down, when she calms down, when she comes back home to herself and realizes that she's okay. That's when she actually feels safe. Most women were never taught this distinction. So what happens is she's feeling something, she doesn't know how to hold it, how to talk about it, how to regulate it, doesn't even know how to investigate it without being consumed by it. Now she's thinking, shit, I am crazy. And this is why maturity matters. Feminine strength is not feeling nothing. It is learning how to feel deeply without being dragged around by your emotional house. This is not a ghoul. It's just haunting you. That's what it feels like, though. Sometimes to be a woman, it feels like we're being haunted by emotions. And so it's learning how to feel deeply that these things are here without being spooked by them, but by recognizing what they're telling you. That is feminine strength. That is when a woman learns something about her sensitivity is not a burden. It's a fucking great emotional tool that we need for that thriving environment that everyone craves. And when she's able to maturely speak about what's in that invisible house, that invisible environment, now the masculine can receive her better because he's not feeling like this attack is happening. Because if she's bringing her chaos, he's seeing an attack. His not meaning to, but over time, he's going to continuously sense that there's just this attack all the time. So, ladies, feminine strength, let's really define this. And I'm saying feminine strength, not feminine power, for a reason. Feminine strength is something I want us to be focusing on is this ability to be able to sense things and not be so consumed by them, but know they are there and we are the messengers to help translate what they are that matter to everybody else so that we can be functional in society. And feminine strength is not being overly passive and weak and overly agreeable and tolerating disrespect and neglect. No, absolutely not. And feminine strength is also not just constant combat and fear and contempt and resentment and performing how tough you are to impress other people. It's not trying to outman every man. It is not living permanent fight mode and calling it you being an empowered, independent woman. That is a survival adaptation, babe, not feminine mastery. Okay, you're not in the right realm here, Bibs. Like the invisible domain can't use hammers. It needs softness, it needs quietness, it needs patience. Real feminine strength is about emotional steadiness. It's knowing that there's a lot of things going on in this landscape, recognizing, accepting that they're there, and being the master of that. Everyone is in this emotional environment home with you, and everyone can feel the cold that's there, and you're the one that stays warm and warms everybody back up. That is real feminine strength. It is being kind with standards. And I think that this is part of why women struggle so deeply to measure their value. Men's value is often stacked visibly over the course of his life. He continues to build and build empire, the kingdom. There's more possessions that he carries. There's more money that he has, more status that he gains, resources and achievements, all these results that you can see. And it stacks very visibly as he ages through life. It's a very tangible thing. But a woman's work often lives inside of human beings. Now, of course, women can do all of those things as well. So it gets very confusing when we're only looking at the external world and what her value is, because we're measuring it directly off of how men are measuring their value. And it's an interesting conversation that happens because it'll be like a man is going to have a conversation with a woman and say, these are the things that I'm bringing to the table and I can show you. Where's your things? And she's going to do what? She's going to start grabbing at the external world stuff. She's like, well, I was doing the laundry and I've been cooking and I've been running the kids around. And why is this conversation always feel so horribly lackluster, right? In comparison to what he's done and what he's bringing, it's like I can feel how that doesn't feel like this computes. And women have had this conversation for ages and don't know how to feel valuable inside of that comparison because she's not measuring the right thing. She's measuring task lists externally, and that is not what we should be measuring. A woman's work lives inside of other human beings. inside whether a home feels emotionally safe or cold, whether family members stay connected or drift apart, whether you see children growing up feeling secure in themselves or really insecure. And the exhausting part is that those are dependent on other human beings, which this is one of my theories as to why women are more quote unquote codependent. This whole time we're just labeling women as codependent without understanding that her currency in life, her mission directive is other people. And so when relationships fracture, when families are disconnected, and when people are hating each other and there's always arguments going on, people stop feeling close and trust is broken, those fractures and those bonds fray and leave, many women don't just feel sad. They feel like they failed at life itself because the metric that she's unconsciously measuring all along was, did I create love? Did I create connection? Did I create emotional stability? Did I help people feel together and love? Is this place feel emotionally safe? If she cannot feel the emotional payoff of those bonds, she often looks back on her life and struggles to understand what her value ever even was. And I've asked women question themselves in my coaching, like, was I a good mother? Am I a good mother? Am I a good grandmother? And having so much despair in themselves because they really don't feel it, because there's still a bond that they want so badly to work out, and this other human being isn't being cooperative and it's broken. And she's putting that on her as meaning to make it work. And we call it codependency. And it is codependency in a way because she stopped loving herself and she's only putting the currency on everybody else. Women are constantly censoring and measuring something invisible that makes them feel valuable in life, and they can't hold it, they can't talk about it, but they feel it. Did I create a loving emotional world around me? Did I create closeness and trust and warmth and bond and beauty? Did I make people feel good? And you know when you make someone feel good, there is a very small, tiny window that they tell you or they make you feel it, right? That's a tiny payload. That is her paycheck. And even if they don't constantly realize it, that has been their deeper mission directive their entire life. Every little complaint, everything they care about and bitch and moan about is trying to get that payload. A huge part of the unconscious feminine psyche is oriented towards holding emotional connection together and making things smile, making things feel good. That's it. This is the whole gig. Which is why the pain can become so devastating in her life when those bonds are fragile and breaking and she can't fucking fix it. And so when she's later in her life, she's realizing that the bonds that she thought she was creating, well, her kids are growing up and they're getting very distant and they're not responding to the things, the tactics that she used to have, because maybe she became actually skilled at the external stuff, at managing, at controlling, at nagging, at holding everything together through pressure and shame and guilt and over responsibility, but never truly learned how to create deep emotional safety and delight and trust and loving connection because she abandoned the internal environment and she just opted for the external one. And this is why I'm urging women to really listen and pay attention of you can delve in that external world, babes, but your soul is always going to be measuring your value through this. Don't take my word for it. Scan yourself. And if you look around and you realize that your children don't really feel close to you, they don't trust you deeply, they don't delight in bringing things to you or being around you, the emotional world I wanted most isn't here. That realization is fucking catastrophic. Oh my God, I spent my whole life trying to create something and the strategy I used didn't actually create the thing I wanted the most. This pain is incredibly real. It's horrible. It strikes at a level of identity, of purpose, of biological meaning, of I failed at the thing that my soul wants the most, is trying to do, is to protect something, build something, whether that's a man or a woman. Right? And if we're only measuring value of a woman through survival metrics, what do you have to show? Where's your bank account? Where's your bill? What have you been doing all day? Right? Through production, through status, through external achievement. We are completely missing the invisible work that many women have been trying to do their entire lives is hold human beings together, make them feel good, make them emotionally good and thriving, connected, loved, accepted, flying in life. She's measuring her life through the strength of human connection. That's her currency, and she doesn't even know it. She feels it. She doesn't know how to talk about it, but that's what her soul wants. And if you see a woman that's just sad and depressed, this is why. Because the connections that she's making, she never realized I needed to learn the skills of what is the recipe of connection. If we just tell everybody, hey, if you're going to bake a cake and the cake is connections and bonds and relationships, women are going to get really fucking good at perfecting those recipes. So ladies, there's your cheat sheet. You need to understand that connection and love is a recipe. And if you want that recipe, if you want to feel, if you want to have the best tasting cake and you want everybody to go, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. If I want this, I'm coming to you. And if you're like, yes, come to me. I am the queen of making you feel delicious. Oh my God. Don't you want that? There is a recipe in there. But that means you actually have to be the one that knows that recipe and perfects that recipe. It's a testament to that woman because if these people are respectful of humans and kind to others and have open minds about other people's perspectives and want to listen and be curious and bond and connect, that is her currency. That is knowing that she just built a legacy that mattered. And the hard part about working with the invisible world is that nobody really sees how emotionally demanding it is until everything starts falling apart. Because holding connection together sounds very soft and woo until you realize how hard it is to stay loving and grounded and kind and emotionally steady and connected when life is getting seriously uncomfortable and painful and messy. And that is where feminine strength actually really begins. It's the ability to stay connected to yourself while weird, terrible, uncomfortable emotion is happening. You stay grounded and anchored in your softness because you know that softness is actually the vehicle and the currency in this realm. And this realm is important. And if we abandon it, no one's manning this house, but this house is always here needing somebody to man it. And honestly, anybody can be pleasant when life is easy. We just want everything to be easy. That is not strength, people. That's comfort. Who are you when things get hard, when things get messy? Who are you when you are feeling hurt? Who are you? What are you bringing? When you're feeling unseen, when you're feeling rejected, when you're feeling disappointed, do you punish? Do you withdraw? Do you attack? Do you collapse? Do you freak out and overwhelm yourself and think, oh my God, like the house just burned down? And so we have to build that. We have to build this confidence in ourselves that we know that it's okay that this other entity that we love can't feel this thing to the degree that we do. And we can just accept that that's true and that's okay. You can accept that he's going to be strong in his realm and you can be strong with yours. And man, that makes you both really powerful because you're going to help each other with the world that you're not as good in from a place of love and helping each other. And you can stay grounded enough to protect both your dignity and the connection whenever you guys have a problem. That is feminine strength. And no, it doesn't mean you're going to tolerate disrespect. As you guys know, respect is a big thing for me. And so please do not weaponize my words into saying Kelli says women should just endure nonsense. Like, I'm not saying that. No, ma'am, boundaries matter. Your self-respect matters. But there's a difference between a very clean, healthy boundary and inspiring people to rise up. And that when you are expecting people to rise up, if you have a dirty mouth and a nasty one while you're asking other people to be better, that's kind of hypocritical, isn't it? So make sure that you're being clean when you're putting boundaries down. I'm just saying your respect for yourself and others needs to be the forefront of everything. Like we don't want to emotional revenge when just going on all of the time. And that distinction really matters. And to be honest, one of the things that women I think underestimate the most is the power of tiny moments. And actually, all people, I shouldn't just say women, like the power of tiny moments. My coaching clients know this thing I say a lot. And I don't care if it's a man or woman I'm coaching, I will tell them, take care of the moment. Take care of the moment. Because when it comes to relationships, those moments are what the relationship needs. Now, out in the world, in the external world, when it comes to your business, and people always say this, in my business and with everyone else, it's fine and never have these problems. But in my relationship, I can't ever do this. And people always think that that's a sign. That's a sign that this doesn't work. Oh, fucking stop it and get over yourself. What you're saying is that you're applying one strategy with everything else to everything, and you expect that to actually work. How about you learn to adapt to what's in front of you and understand and learn that a relationship is a different environment. It's the invisible environment. No wonder your strategy is not working. You're dealing with an invisible house. And so there's tiny little moments that are super powerful in keeping the upkeep to that house. That house needs kept clean. It needs to stay safe. It needs to stay strong and warm. What are these small moments that do that? In the moments that matter, you optimize a smile, a playful tease, a warm touch, a moment of softness, of forgiveness. Oh my God, forgiveness. Like genuine forgiveness with a warm touch and a smile and a playful tease, do that and watch that invisible environment start to glow, start to get strong, start to feel so safe and clean. A sincere compliment whenever somebody is doubting themselves. A woman genuinely just fucking enjoying herself is such a beautiful thing to behold. And I don't bat for the other team, but man, do I love a woman that enjoys herself. It is delightful because she's doing something that people don't recognize how important that is. These things sound small. They are not small, but you have to be present to see them, to appreciate them, and to hold them, which means your presence has to be extra attuned if you are dealing with an environment that is invisible. This environment, if you aren't quiet, if you aren't present, if you aren't there, you're going to miss it. The sense is there, but if you're not present, it will go away and you won't notice it. You won't be able to upkeep the small things that keep the house clean and warm and safe. People remember how they feel about you. And women have this extraordinary ability to alter the emotional weather of a room. And actually, all people do. Healthy feminine women have this extraordinary ability to alter the emotional weather in a room, not through her force, but through her presence, because she's going to be warm. She's going to play. She's going to give attention to something. She's going to feel alive, and she's going to give other people permission to relax. And relaxing in a world that's dark and chaotic and cold, what kind of a gift is that? Everybody needs that. And a woman who knows how to enjoy life without apology, and being confident and being able to play with herself no matter who's looking, gives other people silent permission to come alive and relax and play too. And that is how we thrive. Those are the moments that matter that we can thrive. But we have to have a safe environment to do that. We can't be over here playing when the house is falling down on us. And so those little things that she's complaining about, she's trying to say, hey, hey, like this needs a support pillar so that we can go play later. Otherwise, like the wall's going to fall on me and then I'm going to be screaming and then you're not going to know why. And I'm going to try to tell you why. And you're not going to see that this wall is on me and there's all this pressure on me and it hurts. And you're not seeing that I'm hurt. And I'm telling you, this invisible wall is crushing me and I need you to take it off of me. I need you to help me with it. That's what she's trying to say. She's just trying to upkeep the house. Okay. I want women to really hear me say this because your light that you protect is the most important part of this entire thing. Please, for the love of all that is holy, please start enjoying yourself. Stop acting like joy is not a serious thing. Joy is a very serious thing, and I mean that like it's a serious thing as far as what the thriving dimension is. So take it seriously. Be joyful. I know that sounds weird, joy and serious. Like I did that on purpose to confuse you and hope that you think about it. Because some of you are so defended against pleasure. You act suspicious when happiness arrives. And actually, that happiness is what makes people relax. And that internal environment is where you're supposed to make things help thrive. Thrive, thrive, thrive. If happiness isn't here, if relaxation isn't here, if joy isn't here, we can't thrive. So you have to be the one first to enjoy yourself because other people are like, oh, it's safe here. If she's enjoying herself, that means it's okay to park here too, and I can enjoy myself too. We need to bring back life in emotionally gray spaces by enjoying ourselves and protecting that thrive. And honestly, this is where I think women are really quietly suffering more than people realize because holding patience and love and warmth in a cold world is exhausting in a multitude of ways. It just is. And I think this is one of the deepest pains that women experience that many cannot articulate is slowly losing access to their own light and internal warmth. Keep your light lit. You are a beacon to people to come into the emotional environment and be safe there. Does this make sense? It might be an invisible landscape, but when you have a light on it, people will come to it. She should be looking at how to do that herself because it shouldn't be contingent on other people making her protected. She needs to understand, oh, maybe my light keeps going out, my candle keeps going out. Maybe it's because I'm actually standing under the roof that has the hole in it and it's raining. And so instead of making somebody else cover the hole, what if she just steps to the left or the right and gets out of that? She learns to handle her internal stuff too. And I do have that expectation for women because that is the growth women need to have is knowing how to make herself feel safe. And I don't mean by cutting herself off from others. I mean by being emotionally resilient, emotionally mature, maturing and finessing those skills. Thriving comes from the internal environment. There will be pain here. Uncertainty will be here. Emotion will be here. And if you can't handle that, then that's a problem. If we want to, if we want ease and laughter and love and connection, bond, trust, respect, an oasis with this person that you want in your life, you have to earn those things by learning from all the dark stuff in the relationship, by holding the dark stuff in the relationship. It's two stubborn people that are refusing to learn if they don't do that. They're just like, nope, nope, nope. My environment's more important than yours. No, then that's it. Then you guys go stay in your own environments. That's what happens a lot of the time. I don't think that's what anybody really wants, though. Refusing to recognize how to really show up for your partner and listen to how their partner needs to be cared for. They're trying to tell them instead of we just want to make them more like us, no matter who that is. On the other side, I'm just talking ubiquitously here. And therefore, you are not honoring who they are. It is a damn beautiful thing when people can get out of their own way and see the other person in the glory and the mess and the humanness that they are. I fucking love the messiness of humans. It is what makes us so complex and beautiful. And I know that that sounds like, okay, Kel, like you think people are beautiful and mess. I do. I really do. Even whenever they are screaming and crying and hurting, there is something beautiful about that. But I'm also a guardian of the Thrive Dimension, so I understand that they're connected to something. That emotion is just saying, this matters to me. And that is fucking cool. This person is literally telling me in their soul what the fuck matters to them the most. That is my perspective. Women really can be healers here in this if we really optimize it. We don't get worried about the pain because the pain is part of the beauty. When somebody's in pain, all it's saying is that there's something that matters to them. That's the translation it should be. It's not that life sucks. You got a shitty translation, man. That's a bad meaning. It means that something matters. And if something matters, that means something's important. And if something's important, that's fucking beautiful and that's worth fighting for, isn't it? See how easy that is? You just learn what that is for everybody that's in your life that you want to hold dear and love them. That is the blueprint on how they love them is things they're crying out for, listen to them. They're trying to tell you how to love them. It's actually really fucking easy whenever you have that perspective. And since it's not your language, it's going to take time for you to be curious. Might be in your benefit to stick around and see, hey, this stubborn person is just hurting and I need to evolve and expand my capacity to be able to hold them, see them, and love them. That's kind of how I look at it is, well, this one's tough. How the fuck do I love on this one? I got to evolve myself by letting them be them and letting me love them for who they are and evolving myself to that. Maybe not everyone's going to do that, but honestly, that is the capability that you actually have as a human being is just see them, ask them questions. That's all I do. I just am not, don't take it personal because I am emotionally safe internally. I keep my candle lit. Even when my fucking world is storming, I still keep it lit. That's because of the work that I've done. So, where do we go from here? Because humans are going to adapt. And I think many people don't realize that when we adapt to an environment that is emotionally cold and dismissed and neglected, there is this slow emotional extinction that happens from people. And they start abandoning who they are over and over and over without re-anchoring themselves in who they are and their strength and their confidence. I'm talking to everybody here. Don't let your own light go. Whenever somebody's light goes out, now they're more guarded. Now they're more rigid. Now they're more resentful. Now they're more suspicious. This is survival mode, not the survival dimension. That's different. I know that's similar sounding, but it's just your survival mode. You become emotionally depleted. A tragic part here is like the more pain people carry, the harder it becomes for them to access warmth and strength and admiration and softness and playfulness and the emotional aliveness, all the thrive dimension stuff. That's going to still be the stuff that can restores connection in the first place. And that is what women are trying to protect and trying to build from invisible supplies. And I'm not saying that women should tolerate neglect or men either. I'm not saying that people should be abandoning themselves. I'm not saying that women should be smiling in through pain and just become emotional servants for broken people that's not going to see them or honor them or protect them. So I'm not saying just be resilient while nothing changes and just sit and take the pain, your blood dry, whether you're a man or woman. I'm not saying that. Absolutely not. I'm saying something much deeper. I'm saying do not surrender your own light because the world became painful and hard. Darling, just don't fucking do that. When you expand your capacity to be able to hold pain and show up for people when things get hard, holy fuck, now you are someone that you can really create emotional safety inside of hard things. And babes, that's the whole fucking point. So go get emotional resiliency, change what you bring. Because I promise when you change something that you bring, you're going to get a different environment. You're going to get a different outcome. You keep bringing a soot full of hand. What? That's not right. A handful of soot. And now both people keep touching each other with pain. And they're asking why the connection keeps getting darker. And that's kind of tragic. Feminine strength is a refusal to let darkness completely extinguish your capacity for warmth and kindness whenever there's pressure and discomfort. That's it. It does not mean you are going to be perfect at that. You will go out sometimes. Your light and your warmth is going to go out. It's okay. Like, think of it like your cycle, right? Like, sometimes we have to replenish that. And it's okay that you allow yourself to not be perfect. You're not going to be perfect at lighting everybody and being warm all the time. It's okay, babe. I don't want you to be. Like, that's impossible. Let it the fuck go. It's okay. You're okay to be messy too, babe. It does not mean that you never have a breakdown. You're going to. It's okay. Like you're human. What are you trying to be a robot? Like that's not warm. That's not soft. You're figuring it out. It's okay. Give yourself a fucking break and just ground yourself back home to who you really are and find that light in you again after some time, right? Go clean yourself off. Re-energize yourself. Get yourself back into that sensitivity. Clean yourself off so you can feel and you can be sensual again, right? And you find this, by the way, like if you want to hack, you find it, you clean yourself by observing love and especially gratitude if you want a shortcut. Even inside of my hormonal bullshit, I experiment with myself. I absolutely amplify gratitude for somebody or something, and I really let it fill me. It completely changes me. This, ladies, does not mean that you're never going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt a lot. Just fucking accept it. It's okay. It's life. It's going to teach you really great things. So don't be afraid of pain. Learn to read it. Learn to utilize it. Learn what it needs, what it's made of, and why it happened. Because then you're going to start having command over it, and then you're going to start being able to not feel the pain anymore because you're going to be tougher to it. Like that's what I want for you. Is I don't want you to be void of pain. That's ridiculous. Feminine strength means somewhere inside of yourself, you remain committed to staying alive emotionally despite the hardships you are facing. That is emotional resilience and intelligence. Staying connected to beauty, to hope, to love, forgiveness, gratitude while healing, while disappointed, while hurt, while things are chaotic and going on. That takes a lot of fucking strength. Even while figuring things out, people are complex. Start respecting that many things can be true at once and give yourself some grace and just keep going because and cultivate that light. Just keep doing that. People are complex. And here's something that this is going to get a little dark. Not gonna spend too much time on this piece before I move on to something really cool. The next couple of things I'm gonna get to are actually stories about femininity then and how they changed my life. But before I get into those things, I want to just point out something that is going to be a little harsh. Um, And by the way, everybody's responsible for this, but I am pointing at women more just because this is about femininity and women. However, men, this actually, the damages that I'm about to talk about are also yours to bear here. Okay, so this is for everybody. But when we talk about men are dangerous and can kill, like, okay, sure, sure, sure. Like, we're just going to generally speak, right? Because women can do that too. So does that absolve women from actually the killing that they do? Because women can kill too. And I don't mean physically. I mean soulfully. What does that mean? Some people Human beings don't just die physically. Human beings, when they stop feeling seen, fought for, loved, something starts dying in them. Who has experienced this? This is why emotional connection matters so much. This is why this emotional, invisible landscape matters. This is why this matters. So please listen closely because human beings do not just die physically, some die emotionally long before their bodies ever leave this earth. And what starts to happen is when some of that emotionally dying process starts to happen, hopelessness starts to set in, and people kill themselves because they are hopeless. People kill themselves because, I mean, literally, because they feel meaningless, they feel worthless, they feel too isolated, they don't feel accepted, they don't feel love. So, this emotional internal environment fucking matters. It's important. The pain that's here is just as painful as a fucking physical cut, and maybe even more so because it's not a quick death, is it? It's a long suffering one. And because women often carry extraordinary influence, what they bring into emotional spaces deeply matters. Men too. Okay. I'm not saying that women are responsible for everybody's happiness, so please don't take that meaning. What I'm saying is our emotional environments shape human beings. And I've seen so many human beings so distorted because the emotional environment, I'm one of them, they grow up in an emotional environment that distorts them. What you say to people fucking matters because it creates an emotional environment. Please pay attention. How you hold people matters. How you speak to children matters. How you speak to men matters. How you speak to women matters. How you speak to yourself matters. It matters and it will kill or it can heal. And women can either become part of the emotional darkness that is spreading through the world and continue to add more darkness by snuffing out their light, or she can be part of what relights human beings inside of it. And I think that is one of the deepest strengths of femininity, not dominance, not hardness, not control, not fear. The ability to help human beings remember warmth before the world convinced them to go cold. And in those moments, I have a couple stories. Now, I want to make this really real because theories are super nice and stories are what people actually feel stuff. And I have two women in my life that have actually taught me what femininity really, really actually is. I mean, I can theoretically understand it and talk to you guys all about it, but until you actually experience a woman that has um wielded femininity and its powers on top of you, you don't really understand it. And if you probably saw it and have felt it, you never really captured what it really was. And that's a shame. And I invite everybody that's listening to try to find one of these moments in their life and really honor what the fuck is happening. So, I have a best friend named Jess, and I've known her for a long, long time, and we've been through quite a bit of changes in life together. And a handful of years ago, I had an extremely big surgery that was going to keep me down for quite a while. And Jess took care of me. I only wanted her around because I knew the level of vulnerability I was going to have, and this thing, this surgery, and what it was. Um, it was a pretty significant thing for me. And I needed someone I trusted. And of all the people that I could have picked, I picked the one that I knew was going to be able to hold me. I trusted her to do it. I just asked and I trusted. I let go and I let her drive. She really nourished me. And what does that mean? Like, she didn't just nourish me, she took care of everything. We were out of town for a long time. I was in a completely vulnerable state and incapacitated for a long time. And she took away from her life, from her kids, from her family to just be there with me. And she just dropped it immediately. And she was honored. She was honored to. I could tell she was excited to help. And that is fucking cool because I just knew she knew what this meant to me. She knew what this was going to be for me and just paid attention. She adjusted so many tiny little details of things. She anticipated all of my needs. She was keeping track of nurturing all of these tiny little things. She created a security blanket of steadiness around me. And inside that bubble, she furnished it, she nourished it, she brought all the things I would never need, and she took care of every single detail. And then on the outside of that bubble, she protected me from all kinds of things externally. And there's something incredibly powerful about being so nourished and cared for with such complete devotion and love to being made to feel like you're not feeling like you're a burden. Like their ability to be able to create love and nourishment and caretaking in a way that's beautiful and not making you feel like you're weak and you're vulnerable and you know that you're in a very bad spot. She didn't make me feel weak. She made me feel cared for. And that's a beautiful thing that femininity can do whenever it's allowed to nourish something that's weakened, something that needs some strength and protection and some love, tender loving care. And there's something amazing about it. And your nervous system just softens and you stop bracing for everything and you just relax. And your body needs to relax sometimes so it can reset, it can heal. And I stopped feeling like I needed to apologize for having needs. And she was just like, no, 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 this is great. Give me more, give me more. She wanted all my needs. She wanted to take care of them. You could see how it lit her up. Was it a lot of work? Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot of fucking work, but she never made me feel bad for it. She never felt like I was a burden. She never felt like it was anything that was off of her. It was obviously making her glow and feel useful. And she loved to do it as an honor. And I could see that. And I stopped apologizing for having needs. And she just anticipated them to such a degree that I just was able to just relax and not think. Oh my God, it was amazing. It's the first time I've ever had a woman take care of me. I'm in its mid-30s and I've never been mothered like that. Mothered in a controlling sense of the taboo sense of the word. Sure, sure, sure. That's I've got a lot of practice in. But as far as a woman actually caring for me so deeply that she just made me feel precious. Oh, I'm tearing up thinking about it because it was that profound in me. It was like, holy shit, this is what femininity really is. Is making me feel precious while I'm feeling weak. What? How the fuck did she do that? Jess made receiving feel safe. Receiving is vulnerable. I had to just receive everything she was going to give me, and I didn't know if she was going to feed me toxin and kill me or, like love me. Like that's what our in our brains we're going to do is, oh, I don't know if I can trust this. I don't know if I have to protect myself. No, I picked her for a reason. And that's what women need to understand is nourishment is not a lesser strength. It is one of the ways humans recover. It is making something feel valued and precious and worthy. And when you're inside of your most deepest, darkest moments, you can help someone recover. That is a very cool fucking thing. That is fucking beautiful. And a woman who can create an emotional environment like that is just emanating. You can rest here, you can heal, you don't have to perform, you don't have to do anything. You can just be. And these women, that woman changes lives. And I think the world is starving for more examples of that on a consistent basis and women who understand what strength inside of that the strength that they have inside of this instinct. And women want to do this for the world. But one thing that happened is I had to ask for it. I had to trust it. I had to receive it. Because even though women want this, like to do these things, most people won't accept it. And I'm so grateful for trusting her with my life and what I needed in some of the most transformational parts of my entire life. Now, this brings me to another transformational piece of my life. And this woman, um, she's like queen of the world to me. And there's another kind of feminine strength entirely, and there's a lot of versions of it, honestly. And this one, she emulates quite a bit. And I'm going to talk about this one for a little bit. But this one, the first thing I want to talk about with her is a spark. And this spark of feminine strength is like I've been telling you, relight yourself. That spark, that is what I'm speaking about. And the woman who just doesn't help you rest and nourishes your body and your soul. That's nourishment. It's the feminine strength that helps you come alive. I call her Luminaria, and she's remaining anonymous on purpose. And honestly, this woman changed me more than any human being probably could. Not theoretically, she actually did. And there was a period in my life where I genuinely did not know what would have happened to my life and my sanity and my soul without her. She became my light in a very dark place and she tethered me to the world. She saved my life. And what fascinated me was before we even got to that place, she had been a form of strength for me far before anything dark that I needed rescued from. And the cool thing about it is this woman, she doesn't even try hard. She's just this magical being of just enjoying being a woman. And this is the thing that I learned about joy is how much play and fun and laughter and boldness and confidence a woman can actually emit. And it's so fucking magnetizing. I learned it from her. I learned how she wasn't performing femininity. She just thoroughly was absolutely loving being a woman and what that brings in her life. She's just relaxed in it in such a way that everybody was just absolutely enjoying themselves by watching, being around her. It was so magnetizing. And she's kind of like a quote unquote, like sort of enters a room and just makes everything feel more alive or more spicy. She's very spicy. And there's this undercurrent that she brings. It's kind of keeps you on edge because you don't know really what to expect all the time because she can be very, I don't want to say erratic, but like she's very bold in how she presents herself and whatever the moment needs, she's so fucking adaptive to it. And it's amazing. She's more textured than anybody I've ever been around. And she did it through pure presence, through play, through the timing of the things that she would say and the things that she would do. She would turn off her seductiveness or her play or her flirtiness or her magnetism, and she'd become super warming and loving and sensual. And then she'd start to tease and then she'd laugh. And then there's just all of this crazy emotional precision. It was like, I don't even know how to, I don't even know how to, it was like if emotional precision were bullets firing out of a rifle, she was freaking a marksman, like amazing marksman when it comes to emotional precision. It was amazing. And honestly, it was dangerous and not a manipulative dangerous, but I mean alive. This is what a feminine aliveness is. It is unapologetically bold in your face, alive and feeling. It is such a bright, strong flame, and she's bold with that. Her Shield Maiden flame was whew, amazing. And she has this ability to emotionally touch a moment and completely change the fucking atmosphere. I just loved it. And I think the amount of play that I learned from her as far as watching how she interacted with her loved ones, that's what struck me the hardest, is how much honor and devotion that she carries for her loved ones. It is really amazing to see this protective entity that is so playful and can be so serious and quote unquote deadly at the same time because she is there to devotedly protect them in such a way that they are ultimately respected and honored and cherished. And that devotion was so amazing to watch. And she's feminine influence at its best. It wasn't about emotional control for her. It was about emotional invitation, always. This seductive play, this curiousness, this, please tell me more. I want to know about this. It was being able to wind things in such a way that she was weaving tapestries of beauty. It's changed me profoundly. And I've realized that feminine strength is not about becoming hard and tough to all of the difficult things we face. And this woman is in a very masculine field. It's an extremely masculine field. And yet she's the most feminine woman I've ever seen, still to this day, the way that she is able to wield all of the instincts of femininity. And I learned so much about coming home to myself in such a way watching her that I now nourish the most important person first, like myself. I watched her and how she respected herself and how she carried herself and how she just knew what her quote unquote arsenal was. And I mean that in the best of ways, like her strengths. She really knew what her strengths were and she mastered her strengths. And that is what made her so magnetizing as a woman. She didn't run off of insecurities and, oh, I'm not good enough. That just weakens us. What she did was she's like, oh, this is my strength. I'm going to put everything into that and I'm going to have fucking fun doing it. And she taught me how to play more than I've ever told her. And if she listens to this, she's gonna know exactly who she is. I just want to recognize her a lot here because I really learned to love people for who they are through watching her, how she did it with her loved ones. And that's the ultimate test on how we can really be our own person and love somebody else for all their flaws, their messy ways, their poor behavior, their unfair things, the things that they do that don't make sense. Kind of disappointed that they did something like that, but we can still love them through it and not shame them for it. It was such an amazing lesson, and I learned a substantial amount from her. And I will always be thankful for her, and I owe her so much debt. I owe this woman so much just for being her. She changed me. And that was before she saved my life. Ladies, don't compete with another woman that's shining. I watched Illuminaria and I was intimidated at first. She knew it and she thought it was hilarious. And she saw that sphere in me and she made me feel safe anyway. And then she decided to coo and woo at my skills. She's like, I can't do that. I don't have that. And she completely lifted me up because she could feel the insecurities that I had. She could feel the comparison I was doing, the jealousy I was having, that I wasn't as good as she was. And she taught me so much about so many things. It's like she was protecting a sisterhood, and it wasn't about competing with other women. It's learning to lean into your own strengths and awing and cooing and building that. It was a beautiful lesson. She multiplies light in people. And she sees another woman shine and she goes, oh, yes, more of that. That, frankly, is really sexy. And we desperately need more women like that. We need more of that. You need to keep glowing. You do this. And that is how we build each other up. And honestly, that experience changed me profoundly because after being with women like that, meeting them, experiencing them, being in their orbit, women who are deeply actually feminine, amazingly confident in their abilities, in their strengths, not in their insecurities. These two women were clearly flexing in their strength. And it was extremely magnetizing and made me feel safe, even though the vibrations were completely different. One was extremely nourishing and kind and loving. It also had its fun inside of it. But the other one has a spark, and both of them felt safe. They felt completely contrasting. And that is the cool thing about femininity is how big and expansive and how many things they can make you feel safe in. These women who are emotionally alive and playful and grounded and warm and emotionally intelligent, and you start realizing, oh, this is femininity. This is the thing everybody's actually looking for. This is the ability to make people feel more alive, more connected, more seen, more forgiven, more human, more loved. And the crazy part is, it's becoming really rare because a lot of women today are trying to feel powerful through the external world only. We're told to be boss bitches, and we look at all the Marvel characters that are turning masculine, and we're like, look at them as our idols. And so, of course, we're going to look at the external world only. And listen, like women are powerful. We are capable. We are intelligent. We are human just like men are. We are made with those same things, obviously. But feminine power is what they chase, and they are chasing things like status and dominance and loudness and armor, or proving that you can survive hardship. And that's great. Those are skills in the survival dimension that all people need balanced in. They need those skills too. But if that's all they are, then they can't flow in their own nature, in their own domain, in their own place where they actually crave to be. That is not the magic. The magic is what women like Jess and Luminaria carried internally because they were so comfortable in themselves. They were always keeping themselves lit. They were confident they could deliver this thing, and they had no shakiness about it. Nope. No matter what, they weren't gonna. They knew what they could deliver. They felt so confident in who they were that they just projected warmth, emotional precision, the playfulness, the ability to create connection, to be able to play, to be able to make people feel safe enough to open back up to life in a variety of ways. That is the thing. That is the part I think that we are losing. But ladies, whether you consider yourself a feminist or not, please listen to this because your armor from your hurt is not the throne that you think it is. It's not all that glorious. I know, babes, it makes you feel strong and powerful and empowered to protect yourself. And number one, I'm sorry that you ever had to protect yourself like that. It's bullshit. It shouldn't happen. But number two, I'm feeling strong is incredibly important. And I know that matters to you because you've felt so weak and vulnerable. And feeling strong is important. It's incredibly important. And I know it's something that you feel like you didn't have in the past. So, right now you're trying to prove it all the time with fights and arguments and taking control and being pushy and wearing the pants and the relationships. But ladies, like that may serve you in one area of your life sometimes when it's needed and here and there and okay, like do what you need. But your feminine instincts will never ever stop signaling you to be at peace. And that should tell you something. That war that you're practicing, babe, trust me, it gets more exponentially difficult to set down once you start cultivating and feeding that war inside of yourself and with others. That is not femininity, and your instincts are consistently going to tear your soul apart because inside your core, it's screaming for peace, it's screaming for love, and that's the opposite of what you're doing. That's it. You're changing your soft garments for permanent armor. And then armor is going to protect you in battle, sure. But if you live inside it forever, babes, no one's going to truly touch you. No one's truly going to feel your deep love and crave you with all your heart. No one, you'll never feel truly nourished. And this is why you're exhausted. You're never going to really feel true known and seen if you have that armor on. Eventually, that thing protecting you that you put on that armor, it might have been a good strategy for a moment, but babes, that's not the strategy to continue. Please evolve yourself because that armor is going to start isolating you more and more and more. And that's a tragedy. And so many women have become incredible at learning and getting really good at surviving. They just boss everyone around, tell everyone else this and tell everyone else that. So many moms are survival mode because, like I said earlier, like sometimes families feel like a hostage situation. And like secretly, it's starving for thriving. It just works because there's connections, but it's not the ones that we want. It's just social constructs. What we crave and are biologically driven is to connect deeply, emotionally, beautifully, softly, respectfully with others. And it's going to continue to gnaw at you and it's going to continue to make you more sour because you keep cultivating the war and the armor. And feminine strength asks a much harder question of you that is very worthy of your attention. So please listen seriously. Can you really stay warm to others without abandoning yourself? Can you stay kind to them? Can you receive love without feeling unsafe and weak and relax? Can you hold standards without contempt and nastiness, blaming and shaming others? That is the question. See, feminine strength is about being a light in the dark, as I've been saying. Do you have any idea how much strength that takes in any person to remain light, smiling, encouraging, persistent in hope, in love, enrichment, and forgiveness, in gratitude, 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 when they are surrounded by all sorts of human knuckleheads all over the place? Think about that. Anyone listening, I want you to really visualize something for me. You are a candle, a big bright one, and you are the middle of a tornado. You are the light and the beacon to others. And if you allow that tornado to put you out, that's the chaos of the world that you are bending to. And then the world stays dark. And then you fucking hate it. Is that your responsibility to light yourself and stay lit? I don't know. You tell me. I, for one, absolutely think so. I know that that is my responsibility to walk around my life and just see people, really see them on purpose. I'm not that special. I just care. I see the darkness around us and I accept it. I mean, it's just life, man. The more you resist that life is just hard and tough and it's not always okay, like the more acceptance you have, the more you can have more control over the places that you actually can have control. I see the darkness around us. I just refuse to accept that that's the only thing here and just wah, wah, wah at it. And I've built enough of a sanctuary inside of myself that I always feel safe enough in myself to feel that surging confidence to be a light in someone else's dark. People's dark, it's big, it's scary, and it's exactly why I will never fucking leave them in the dark. Because Luminaria and Jess didn't leave me in the fucking dark. It was powerful what they did. I will never stop honoring them for that. And that is what women need is rememberings because these moments they leave all the time. That's why women don't think that they have anything that they've ever built in their life that matters because they can't It's emotion that happened in the past, and then they have to continuously build that again and again every single day in people. What if people just honored them for like what they did before? That'd be cool because then they would feel valuable and loved and seen, understood, and just being allowed to be. So who's going to be that strong with me to light us up? But I warn you, that strength, it's loving, it's nourishing, it's playful, it's forgiving, it's grateful. Can you be that strong? Men, women? I'm asking this of all people, not just my ladies. How hard is that? If we want to talk about strength and who's strong, what I'm talking about takes a lot of strength. So now who's really strong, right? And I have a vulnerable ask to my men. Men, I really want to ask something of you. And honestly, like this actually means a very great deal to me. And I'm going to be going on a little bit of a ledge here and being a little bit vulnerable here. But I'm begging you to please learn how to see and receive the feminine and what it's trying to do, not just physically. Her body, you can have it if you earn her trust, if she wants to give it to you. If you love her well enough, she will give it to you happily. That's not what I mean. What I mean is learn to receive the feminine emotionally. She has a mission to make things thrive and feel good. Your emotional reality to your world, she's trying to make it thrive. Please remember that's her mission. It was always inside of her this whole time. Please, if you don't remember anything else from this episode but this, please realize she's trying to light up how things feel for you, for her. She's trying to walk you through a dimension that is invisible and she knows contains great splendor. And she's wanting and desperately wanting you to trust her. She's needing your help to not be afraid, not fight her, not make her feel crazy. She knows this is there because she sees it in you and she's trying to translate something invisible. Many women are constantly trying to just make life feel better, warmer, more playful, more loving, more seductive, more rich, more alive. And she's going to bring her level of fear and all that stuff in it too. And that's the whole beauty of the invisible world is all of this stuff is invisible. It's not just about play and loving. It's about learning how to find courage whenever we're afraid. That's fucking beautiful too, isn't it? So we have to have fear to find courage. How fucking cool is that? She needs you. And when every attempt she has gets mocked, dismissed, eye rolled, emotionally ignored, treated like weakness, treated like it's a burden, something in her slowly wilts and wilts, and her emotional sensitivities are meant for more than just her. She's not just trying to defend herself here, she's trying to make a life thrive for everyone around her. It's a lot of emotional weaving. It's a constant thing that just goes from day to day. She doesn't have a paycheck that just gets to build. She doesn't have an actual physical supply she gets to show you. So please stop comparing what your work is to hers. She's trying to lead you to something more rich for you to experience as a human on this planet. She's going to fuck it up sometimes. She's not perfect. She's trying to learn this instinct in all of its magnitude. It never shuts up. And sometimes she's going to melt down. Sometimes she's going to not get the right read on it. She's going to be mistaken. It's okay. Please have empathy and forgive her. Learn to laugh at her silly, like, mess. Just laugh at her while you're hugging her and kissing her forehead. That's what I need. That's what I really need. Really learn about women and what they go through, not just on a hormonal level, but on an emotional one, and realize when you hold her with honor like that, watch what she'll do with it. She'll relax. And then you can too. And men, this is so important. I'm not saying this to shame you. I say it because you are uniquely positioned to protect something really sacred here. That's why I'm asking for your help and not ladies. When a woman brings, trying to bring warmth and it's coming from the place of a side of guilt, she's trying to bring affection. She's trying to bring things and you're not receiving it. It makes her job way harder. But if a man is receiving her warmth, her affection, her admiration, her play, her compliments, her love, her silliness, even if you don't get it, you just receive her and laugh at her and just look at her, how cute and adorable she is. If you can just receive that with respect and actual gratitude, Like actual show it, please. She's only knowing that something changed and something is good if you're actually showing the feeling of this penetrated and hit. Something beautiful happens. She fucking glows brighter. She'll be thrilled in her biologic job. She'll feel I'm doing so well. And she's going to open more to you in so many more ways. And she's going to make your universe completely explode in the best of ways, seductively, emotionally, spiritually. And she'll continue to help you feel more and more and more dimensions of life on this planet if you just learn to trust her and her instincts. Protect her truly while she's trying to figure out this invisible terrain that she's trying to protect and being safety to. She's gonna bump into the walls and sometimes knock some shit over and make a mess. It's okay. You're gonna do that too in your work field, I'm sure. But she wants to wander the world thriving with you. And if you please receive her efforts for her incredible intention that she has for you while she's kind of just ambling around doing the best that she can with what she's got, life opens up more for you both, and the relationship gains color and depth and an incredible foundation of fun and trust. But if those offerings consistently get rejected and feels threatened because you can't see what she can feel, you are attaching untrue meanings to her, and you can't get around your own emotions to receive the gifts these lovely women want to bring you. Eventually, that spirit in her, it's going to go somewhere else or it will die. And many have. Her spirit might go to her dogs, her books, her friends, her garden, another man, or simply just go out. We all have a responsibility to one another and how we can feel loved. This is how you make women feel loved is you receive her love. You make her feel like, babe, you know me so fucking well. And I fucking love that you know me so well. That's it. She's like, yes, I'm doing so good. Ha ha ha. She's going to be all delightful and cute and dance and clap and glee. That's all she needs. Receive it. Tell her you received it. Because one or both partners are not allowing the Thrive dimension to work whenever everybody's just emotionally gray. If only the survived dimension is allowed to be cultivated and looked at and respected, that's fucking bullshit. It's not living. This is why homes feel cold and arguments are there, and why, oh, I'm going to try and I'm going to keep trying working on this never works. That's why loneliness is exploding everywhere. So, men, please just receive. Look deeper. There's more to life than just fucking surviving. She's trying to show you that, knucklehead. Stop it. Receive the goddamn compliment with humbling gratitude and a smile or one back. Let it penetrate you. I don't know. Just glow a little with her, will ya? Receive her warmth. It's gonna make you glow too. You're gonna love it. It's gonna feel amazing. You're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so foreign. I know. I know it's gonna feel foreign. That's the whole point. It's cool. You don't have to feel that all the time, but let her inject your life with it once in a while. Receive the emotional offering she's trying to bring you. These wonderful emotions she knows are delicious if you just stop being so stubborn. You can be stubborn. It's fine. Your stubbornness, I love it, but not with her. Like, don't crush her emotional spirit. Please allow her to lead this emotional realm sometimes. Just let her be beautiful and emotional. It's supposed to be there. It has nothing to do with you. Your form of leadership is yours. So, good sirs, just stop feeling emasculated because you don't understand this feeling. She's going to teach it to you if you just have an open mind. You don't have to feel emasculated because you don't know this area. I know what that feels. I know, like, I get it. Like, how are you could possibly lead when you're supposed to lead everything? You're not. You're supposed to lead your dimension. Let her guide you in this one through feeling. Doesn't make her the leader. You are a leader in a completely different way. And you should. You should lead in that realm as fiercely as I'm encouraging our ladies here to lead with her fierce love. Women are here to help us slow down and be present and enjoy the little things that create momentum there because being instead of always doing is also what she's here to teach you. That is what her deep subconscious motivation is to just be, to feel, to enjoy instead of always doing, 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 doing. If she's doing, 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 she can't just be beautiful and be present and be a light. Okay. And so my final challenge here for my ladies, your turn, babes. And I'm going to say this with absolute love for you. I hope this episode has honored you well. This is never here to shame you, but I am not going to just stand by while the work is not being done. I just want you to see it because when you see it, you will know what you need to do. You will feel it. You know what's there. So don't be triggered here. Please just receive this. I know you suck at receiving just as much as our guys do. I know. Women actually are almost maybe, I don't know who's worse. I actually don't know. I can't speak to it. It's both pretty stubborn to not receive things. So please know that I'm only saying this next thing because I have so much faith in you, a belief in you, my dear sister. We need your beautiful essence to light up the world. We crave it. We need you. So please look honestly at your relationships. How do they feel? How do they feel, babe? Not the logistics. How do they feel? Do they feel people feel safer around you or criticized? More alive or more dead? More triggered? More respected or more disrespected? More hopeful or hopeless? More tense or more relaxed? More criticized or more loved? More forgiven or more emotionally exhausted? Because your emotional patterns create emotional climates, and that is very real. This is your feminine strength. This feminine strength requires courage for you to be like, oh God, how can I make a hopeless situation more hopeful? By being feminine, truly. Thriving in connection requires a recipe, and that is trust and warmth and empathy and compassion and love and forgiveness and respect. That is femininity. Those are some components of it. Courage. You have to have a lot of courage. It's going to hurt. Don't fucking be worried. Don't worry about it. It's going to make you stronger. You want to feel strong, don't you? I know you do. This will make you stronger if you just stick with it. Maintain the kindness because when you are really kind, when your pressure in your world is getting bigger and its fears and its hardships are getting blacker, your kindness, your love, bibs, that is way harder and stronger than the criticism that you're dishing out. That criticism is a lying to you, that telling you that you criticizing and controlling things is making you tough. It's a fucking lie. Stop lying to yourself. That is the weak way out. If you want to be strong, then be harder than that and be kind in those moments. Be soft. Learn how to see the situation in a different way. And how can I bring love in this way when this knucklehead won't receive it? How can I? And that's one of my favorite things to do is to sit there and think about someone I love and think, they're really stubborn right now. How can I make them feel loved anyway? And then whenever I make it happen, I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Inside, like I'm not actually doing that to their face. Maybe I am. Actually, I'm kind of fun that way. Sometimes I will. I'll poke at them like that. But then that's just where that just makes us laugh a lot more. That is where your strength lives. Do not ever confuse that. How strong someone has to be inside themselves to be kind and loving when the partner that they want or they're with or they're even their kids are being harsh or being nasty. That is what I'm inviting you to understand, that this is your power. It is not to say that you should just take it up the ass and say, thank you very much. I'm not saying that. What I mean is you learn a new language. You learn more capacity to yourself because there's something here. Learn that when he's gruff, instead of responding with bigger gruffness, you respond with a tease. You respond with a laugh. You respond with love. You respond with something he doesn't expect because that, my loves, melts that man's gruff. And he will worship you for that. And keep doing that on rinse and repeat. Don't take the fucking bait, is what I tell my clients. Stop it. For accepting him for who he is. He's gonna be tough. He has to be. He's fucking guardian of the survived dimension. He's got to be tough. He's gonna be rough. Stop worrying about it. I know he's bringing it into the relationship and shame on him for that. But you know what? Like, he's not meaning to, but he has to realize in this environment, oh, yeah, I need to show up differently. He only does that whenever you hold a standard for it. And that standard is, oh, whenever you're rough, I'm going to show you kindness and make you relax. And then he's going to be like, oh, yeah, this is a place that I want to protect. Trust me, please trust me that that works. Just try it over and over and over. Be consistent and just watch how that environment changes, right? For accepting who he is, for being tough enough and confident enough in yourself that you know that you're this bright, beautiful thing and your dainty, cute little ass can handle whatever he fucking brings you emotionally. You are tough little shit. You can handle this while you still role model and cultivate a giving, nourishing, loving, forgiveness environment. When things get really hard, you can fucking do this. If you want him to do that with you, role model it for him so he can see as well, oh, this is what that invisible environment feels like. It's not you instructing him like a drill sergeant, like you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. That's not how you forgive. That's not what you do. That is not how you role model that environment. You're trying to make it masculine. Do it femininely. Make him feel it. Just make him feel it. Make him feel it. And don't bring it to his attention. Just make him fucking feel it. And he's going to be like, oh, I feel good when I'm around her all the time. Maybe I should protect this thing that makes me feel good because everything else makes me fucking feel terrible. Do you see how this works? Now you get his protection instead of his fight. When you bring your feminine warmth and standards for integrity, that babes, like you're standing for, like, hey, in this environment, we actually treat each other with respect. So when he gives you disrespect, you tease him back. And it's a different way to handle it. It's not saying you can disrespect me, it's a recognition that sometimes people just misstep and you're going to let it go because you're not really making it something it wasn't meant to be. And women are really good at making things that bigger than they meant to be. Learn to let it go and learn to play. Learn to play, learn to play, learn to play with him and his hard character, and he will play with you. How glorious is it when your man fucking plays with you? It is amazing. It feels so amazing. It's much harder to stay in that good, actual good character and integrity and grounded in authenticity. That is what's hard. That is what takes strength. And that is what gives you actual like kudos and I don't know, like spirit level 70,000 because you're so amazing and internally, so strong internally, right? Stay grounded in your authenticity. When the world is trying to take a bite out of you, even if it's your man, and I don't mean that in a seductive, playful way, when you keep holding on to your internal strength, when he does that, you're going to teach him how to handle the internal environment. If he handles the internal environment and he bites and you teach him, oh, you bite me, I'm going to bite you back. What is he's going to do? The internal environment is going to, it's an invisible force that keeps fucking with him and keeps trying to kill him. Of course, he's not going to trust it. You're teaching him that it's going to bite back. The internal environment is there to be soft and kind. So you have to be the wielder of that. Does this make sense? Repairing those bonds patiently and lovingly and forgiveness and gratitude. I keep saying gratitude. Psh, psh, psh. It's harder than withdrawal and punishment. So I'm saying that not in a way of this is so hard. I'm trying to make you sound like when you start learning how to do that, you can feel strong, you can feel significant, you can feel confident, and that you're doing something that matters because those things matter in life. Again, like people kill themselves because they don't have people's love and bonds and acceptance. This work fucking matters. You matter. The things that you've been doing matters. It takes a focus of seeing more than just yourself, though. You have to start learning that internal environment is yours and his mixed together, and you have to realize what's yours and what's his and stop taking things so fucking personal, babe. Like, build your own scaffolding inside. Like, be stronger inside so you can be steady for him. And when you're steady for him, he's gonna be like, oh my God, she makes me feel amazing. She makes me feel admired. She makes me feel respected. She makes me feel like she's got starry eyes every time she looks at me. And men don't think they deserve love. They don't think they deserve this stuff. And so when it comes to them, they are suspicious of it. Just go with it. Just know that's a thing and just go with it. Chaos is all too easy. With a single breath, we can bring chaos. But restraint for like biting back, that is sexy. That is strength. That steadiness is beautiful. And when you can look around you and you can really hold your internal scaffolding up against whatever chaos you are internally facing and still hold somebody with love, that, my love, is real strength. That is fucking cool. And that is legit. And when a woman develops that kind of strength, and it's capable, all women are capable of this, she becomes extraordinary. And that is the value of a woman. So my answer to that is, what is the true value of a woman? It is her ability to help life feel loved and alive through all of the dark. It is that she has the ability to relight the human souls inside of it whenever they are scared, fearful, feeling rejected. In a dark world, she keeps the light on. She keeps the warmth there. Women fight against emotional extinction. That is the real thing here. The world is hard and humans go dark. Connection will die. Hope can die. People lose themselves. And women have this ability to often carry this instinct to relight this emotional space in people. Women bring themselves to such a place where they can find access to so much light and they bring beauty to the world and they relight it and they relight it. What I want you to do is be like Luminaria, who shines so brightly that I don't think it ever goes out. It might. choose a human. Your ability to relight human beings in a dark world, that is your value. It's not your body, it's your energy. So, this has been a big episode, and I'm sure it was a little chaotic, but that's what you can expect from a woman, right? Kind of went all over the place. But I'm gonna sign off on doing exactly what I've been asking everyone to do. I'm gonna honor women. And the two women I've already mentioned, I'm gonna go back one more time over just for a moment. Jess, if you're listening to this, my sweet, nurturing little assassin of emotional safety, my beautiful, nerdy, freaking wizard of dad jokes and woo-woo energy. Thank you. You made me feel so safe and loved for the first time, I think, in my entire life. The way a woman can care. And that changed something in me. That tender, loving care has been imprinted on my soul. And I carry your light with me, and it brightens me every time my light goes dark. I think of you. I think of what you did for me, and it relights me every time. And Luminaria, you dangerous, mystical little creature with the best profanity anyone in the world could fucking have wrote for. My God, your profanity is beautiful. It is an art, absolute art. You reminded me that femininity is alive. It's not just nourishment and, feely feelies. Like it's bold and in your face and courage and playful and just so sensual, deeply sensual, wildly human, untamable. And honestly, you saved my life. And I mean that literally. You were the thing that tethered me. You tethered me more than anything. I will never, ever forget this. I don't know what I did to earn that love, that dedication, that essence in you, but you just gave it and you gave it to such a degree that you relit my essence, I think a million times when it had nothing but darkness and terror. It wouldn't stay lit. And you just stayed there lighting it. Even when you couldn't relight it, you just stayed so close that it kind of felt like you did. And I thank you from the bottom of my soul, my heart. And anytime that I need inspiration, I need to find light again, my gratitude to you, my love for you, the beauty you made me feel connected to again. That's what lights me up is the memory of that. You are queen of the world in my mind, in my heart. There's no one, there's no one grander than you. And I am so grateful that I had the privilege of meeting this glorious soul that I will honor for the rest of my life, however I can. You have my loyalty and my love forever. Ladies, all ladies, learn to love each other like this, out loud, without comparison, without shrinking because everybody's hearing it or what's they're thinking or what meanings they think that they're going to grab from this. Just honor the love that was given to you. Men, honor things that were given to you. The women have changed you. Tell them that kind of love matters and it will bring them to tears. I guarantee it. And those tears are beautiful because it's connecting them to love. It's connecting them to their entire biological mission, their directive. It's meaning that their work mattered. And women don't know how they matter anymore in life. So please be vulnerable like I just was. I have two asks for everybody that's listening to this. Go find a woman and be this vulnerable with her about what she did for you. And the second thing is send this to a woman or a man that needs to learn how to love a woman and what she's doing and what she's facing, what she deals with. Help me stop this gender war. I hope this episode has honored women in a way that you've never heard before. And now you will be guardians of women. This is a very precious energy that we are trying to protect. And if this episode moved you, if it challenged you, if it helped you see something that you'll never be able to unsee, and you realize that there are places in your life where you're struggling to stay lit, where you're struggling to heal, connect, trust, lead, or love, and build the kind of relationships that you actually want, that's the work that I do. I help people understand themselves, understand each other, and build emotional strength and wisdom required to create lives and relationships worth living. If you'd like to work with me personally, you can reach me directly at kelly@levelupyourlow.org. And that's Kelly with an I, not with a Y. And if nothing else, go honor someone who changed your life, tell them, and don't wait. I'll see you in the next episode. Let's take that on and get to work.